Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Healthy Not Complicated podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a trend that seems to be becoming more and more popular, and that is mouth taping. Now, I am someone who first tried this, I think, back in 2019, and let me tell you, it really is worth the hype. Now, today's episode is going to be for you if you are someone who knows you breathe through your mouth during your sleep and you want to improve that, if you're someone who snores, if you're someone who struggles with sleep apnea, if you frequently get cavities, if you're a teeth grinder. These all can be signs and can stem from mouth breathing at night. And mouth taping is a solution to this. Now, I mouth taped consistently for at least 2 years, and in this video, I'm going to get to why I stopped mouth taping, but spoiler alert, it's because I didn't actually need to do it anymore. Now, if you've clicked on this video and you're thinking, what on earth? People are taping their mouths shut? Hear me out, because it's not as crazy as it might seem. The point of mouth taping is to encourage, or I guess force you to breathe through your nose when you're sleeping. And this comes with a whole bunch of benefits, which we're going to get to in this video. Now, naturally, people should be breathing through their nose when they're sleeping, but for multiple reasons, which we'll get into, a lot of us are mouth breathers, and this does come with consequences. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what mouth taping is, why people do it, the science-backed benefits of nasal breathing or breathing through your nose, what I learned while I was mouth taping, the benefits I experienced, and why I eventually stopped. And the reason I stopped is probably not what you think. So let's start off by talking about mouth breathing and why people breathe through their mouths. Now, of course, we can breathe through our nose, we can breathe through our mouth. We're meant to do both, but there are benefits that we get when we breathe through our nose that we don't get through our mouth. So as much as possible, we want to be breathing through our nose. Now, of course, when we're talking, when we're working out, these are times when mouth breathing is necessary, but at other times, like when we're sleeping, we should be breathing entirely through our noses and taking advantage of the benefits. Now, if you aren't quite sure if you are a mouth breather or a nose breather when you sleep, here are some of the signs that you're a mouth breather. You wake up in the morning with a dry mouth, you snore or you drool on your pillow, you wake up in the middle of the night to pee, you have bad breath in the morning, you grind your teeth, or you toss and you turn in your sleep and simply struggle to get a good night's sleep. Now, some of these, of course, can have other reasoning behind them, but a lot of times it is actually due to mouth breathing, which surprises a lot of people, especially the having to wake up to pee in the middle of the night. Now, as I said at the start of this video, breathing through our noses should be the default, but there are a few different reasons why people nowadays tend to be mouth breathers. Sometimes it's due to habits, and sometimes it's due to people physically not being able to breathe through their nose. Let's talk about why nasal breathing is so important. And the main reason is because when we breathe through our nose, nitric oxide is created. And this isn't created when we breathe through our mouth. Now, what's nitric oxide? Why does this matter? It basically increases the oxygen levels in your blood. And this comes with so many benefits. For starters, it increases your circulation and it's going to help to control blood pressure better. So if that's something you struggle with, more oxygen in your blood means better brain function. You're going to be able to think clearer. It also helps to support your immune system. And of course, it helps to regulate sleep and just your health overall. Basically, if you have more oxygen in your blood, everything's just going to be going smoother. Your body's just going to function better overall. And this all comes from breathing through your nose, which is something that seems so minor, but can have such a meaningful impact. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and why I basically had to mouth tape. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you will know that at the end of 2021, I had double jaw surgery. I've done a full podcast episode on that and my experience and why I did it. So I'll link that up above if you want to know more details. But the long and short of it is since growing up, my jaw was misaligned. I had very crooked teeth. I had to have a palate expander in middle school, which basically is like a bar that goes across the roof of your mouth, and you go in with a wrench every day and you crank it and it moves it like a millimeter at a time because there wasn't enough room for all of my teeth on the top. So this spaced it out, and then my teeth were able to be at least straightened with braces, but this didn't correct the issue of my jaw. My upper jaw was too far back and my lower jaw was too far forward. And my lower jaw was also slightly bigger on one side than the other. So it was crooked in that sense as well. Now, I didn't have a complete underbite. My teeth just kind of met at the tips, or actually they didn't meet at the tips. There was a space in between, which caused problems for eating and other issues as well. But the main issue when it came to, I guess, today, what we're talking about today, is that because my jaw was crooked and misaligned, my teeth didn't meet properly and I couldn't close my jaw comfortably. And I didn't really realize the consequences this had until, I guess it would have been in 2020 when I started going down the process of having the jaw surgery to correct this. And by the way, the jaw surgery is basically where they break your jaw, move things around, and just make it align properly. So I'll put some before and afters up on the screen. But because my jaw wasn't aligned correctly, I couldn't actually close it comfortably. Now, like, of course, I could clench my jaw and close it, but it wouldn't sit closed comfortably. And I remember going to the oral surgeon originally, and he was kind of like, okay, like, open your jaw, close your jaw, open your lips, close your lips, that sort of thing. And he actually said to me that my jaw was always hanging open, but that I had trained my lips to be closed. So basically, my jaw was always like, but sometimes like I would have my mouth closed, my lips would be closed, but my jaw would be hanging down. And this was because I could not close it comfortably. It didn't hurt, but it just wasn't comfortable. So when I had the double jaw surgery and everything was corrected, now I can close my jaw comfortably. And now I can keep my mouth shut while I'm sleeping without mouth tape. But beforehand, when my teeth and my jaw were misaligned, I couldn't. And that's when I noticed massive, massive benefits from mouth taping. And I know that it does sound a little bit scary, the thought of taping your mouth shut while you're sleeping. What if you can't breathe properly through your nose? What if for some reason you have to breathe through your mouth during the night? But I promise you, it is safe when done correctly. And it might seem a little bit weird or feel a little bit weird at first, but it's pretty easy to get used to. And if you are someone who breathes through your mouth, after that first night of mouth taping and getting a restful sleep, breathing through your nose, you are going to feel like a different person the next day. And you can feel comfortable knowing that there is science and there is research supporting mouth tape. Now, in terms of the tape that you can use just regular medical tape, so this is easy to remove. Or there are specialized strips that are for mouth taping that are great. The ones that I had always used were from a brand called Somnifix. And these are good because, first off, they're really, really gentle. You can peel them off easily. You're not going to feel like you're suffocating. And the other reason I like them is because they have sort of a small breathing hole. So when you put them on, you sort of purse your lips together like this. And if you feel like you absolutely, absolutely need to breathe through your mouth, you can just separate your lips a little bit like that. I don't know if I'm looking at myself in the camera and I'm like, did that look weird? Probably. But you can part your lips a little bit and breathe without having to take the tape off. Now, the other good thing about this tape is you can take it off a few times if you absolutely have to, and it's still going to be sticky. Like, it's not like once you put it on, you have to keep it on. So that's why I really like this brand. I haven't used any other specific brands of mouth tape just because I tried this one. It worked great. I didn't think there was any reason to try another brand. Now, once I started mouth taping, some of the things I noticed, well, the biggest thing for me was I started waking up less frequently throughout the night. Now, I used to be someone, and still to a degree, because I feel like I stay pretty hydrated. I'm someone who has always had to wake up multiple times throughout the night to go to the bathroom. But as soon as I started mouth taping, I noticed this decrease significantly. And of course, the fewer times you have to get up throughout the night, the more restful your sleep's going to be, the more recovered you're going to be. It's just a win-win. And I've done a few videos recently about like sleep tracking. I think I'm going to do a review on the Oura Ring, which is a sleep tracker, in my next episode. But I am someone who has been using these devices for many years to track my sleep. I've used Oura Ring for over 6 years, and I noticed significant increases to my readiness score. My HRV went up, my resting heart rate went down when I started mouth taping consistently. And again, more oxygen in your blood means your heart can function better, and that's why you see improvements to your resting heart rate, to your HRV. I noticed my REM sleep increase significantly. This is the stage of sleep where you're dreaming. It's really good for your brain and your memory and just, your brain health overall. So this is a really, really important stage of sleep. Now, although I was always a mouth breather at night, I was never someone who snored, or no one's ever told me I was someone who snored. But this is another huge benefit that people see when they start mouth taping is, of course, if your mouth is closed, then you're not going to be able to snore. Mouth taping helps to keep your airway more stable, and this can also be extremely beneficial if you have sleep apnea. Now, if you do have sleep apnea and you use like a CPAP machine, mouth taping can work in conjunction with that. Talk to your doctor about it. You just might need to be a little bit more mindful. Like I said, if you're using mouth tape from a brand like Somnifix, then it's really easy to just part your lips and breathe if you absolutely have to. But I can't stress this enough. A lot of people think that when they tape their mouth shut, they're going to feel constricted, that they're going to feel suffocated or a bit claustrophobic. And in my experience, and a lot of people I've spoken to, it's actually the opposite. When you're breathing through your nose, when your mouth is shut like this, you feel so relaxed. And of course, when you feel more relaxed, then you're going to wake up in the morning feeling more refreshed. A lot of people, when they start mouth taping, who previously struggled to wake up in the morning, they feel groggy and that sort of thing. They see this change when they start mouth taping. And this is because, again, mouth taping leads to a more deeper and more restful sleep. You're waking up less frequently, you have more oxygen flowing through your blood, your body is able to recover better, you're going to get more REM sleep. And I definitely noticed this as well. I've always been someone who has been a morning person. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm up. I can't go back to sleep. So that's not something I struggled with, but having consistent energy throughout the day and being very, very alert in the morning, that's something that I noticed improved. The other benefit to mouth taping is better oral hygiene, because when you breathe through your mouth, it dries out faster. This can, of course, lead to bad breath. This increases your risk of cavities. You also have a higher risk of gum disease. So you're decreasing your risk of all of that by breathing through your nose during the night. Teeth grinding is another benefit that people notice. Now, again, this is not something I personally ever struggled with, but teeth grinding is highly linked to mouth breathing and distress. All right, now I guess I'm going to just show you quickly. Should I show you? I was thinking I would show you how to put the tape on, but I don't know if this is really necessary. Maybe I'll do a B-roll and put it over top here. But yeah, again, I really like these strips from Somnifix. This video isn't sponsored. These are just the ones that I've always used. And my leftover ones, I give them to family and friends when I'm recommending mouth taping to try. And getting started really is as easy as just doing it. So in conclusion, what did I learn after 2 years of mouth taping? Well, the first thing I learned is that it really does work. It's not just one of those things that is sort of a viral health trend, but doesn't have any research behind it. There is a lot of research behind the benefits of nasal breathing and breathing through your nose while sleeping. There's research on mouth taping. It's safe. I have noticed the benefits not only objectively, but also subjectively through data from my Oura Ring, from my Whoop, from my 8 Sleep. Yes, I have way too many sleep tracking devices that I've used, and I can clearly see the change in my metrics from pre-mouth taping to post-mouth taping. More REM sleep, higher HRV, lower resting heart rate. all positives. It's not as scary as you might think. I know taping your mouth shut, you feel like you're going to be constricted, but you're really not. It really is very restful. And in my case, I stopped using it because I had my jaw surgery, which corrected the problem of me not being able to keep my jaw closed comfortably. For other people, using it for a short period of time can help to train their mouth to stay shut when they're sleeping. And I've definitely heard from a lot of people who used mouth taping for a couple of months and then didn't need it anymore and were able to nasal breathe while they were sleeping without the tape. So it's not necessarily something that you need to use long term. You absolutely can, but might not be necessary. But if you are someone, again, who grinds their teeth, who snores, who even just wakes up feeling groggy and you feel like you're doing everything right, but you can't seem to dial in your sleep, then give mouth taping a try. I promise you it's not crazy. Now, I want to hear from you guys if you've mouth taped before. Are you someone who is a mouth breather, or do you naturally breathe through your nose? Very jealous if you're the latter, but I want to hear your experience in the comments down below, either here on Spotify or on YouTube, wherever you're watching or listening. And although this video isn't sponsored by Somnitape, I do have a promo code because I reached out to them years ago after I started using them. So if you want to check them out, I'll put the link in the description box down below, and you can use code Health Coach Kait 10 to save 10%. Honestly, it's worth trying at least once, and the people who I have gotten onto mouth taping have absolutely loved it, have seen so many benefits. So give it a try. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.